As you can see, I know we had Krishna spoke about from Fiddler, about responsible AI observability, all that. Now, it's on the edges. How do you move that into mainstream? Before we start, I do have a request to all of you. 3 questions so that we get a sense check of what exactly is happening in our respective enterprises. If you can raise your hands, if you're actively using AI to do decision making or operational efficiencies in your enterprises. Pretty much everybody, right? If you can continue to keep the hands up and tell me if you're completely confident of the fact that your organization has developed responsible AI governance frameworks and policies and you're aware of them. Okay, interesting. The next one, are you sure you and your team is actively using this in your day-to-day work and also able to monitor them? Very few. That's the imbalance I want to talk about today, right? When it comes to AI, there's a lot of interest, but there is a hesitation when you want to actually be compliant about it. So let's go back to history, right? If you look at 1900s, the future was literally painted with a glowing promise of radium. What was radium used for? There was a new job circulated because they wanted women who could work and literally paint to the dials of the watches by licking the brushes. And that's what their job was. Their job was to paint the radium into the dials of watches by licking the brushes. While they painted the seconds of the dials, little they knew that the hours of their life was ticking away because they were in danger. Now, if you look at it, was advertised well-paid jobs, attractive, lucrative, but most of the women actually succumbed to cancer. But ironically, even then, radium was used to treat cancer. Now, why am I saying this? This story is a stark reminder that innovation without responsibility can have devastating consequences. The radium girl's story did not stop there, right? Now, we are still using radium, and some form of radium, to treat the cancer. Now, the vicious circle of that innovation, misuse, overregulation, obsolescence. How do some invention flourish and some actually perish? Now, we are actually in the midst of one of those innovations, right? AI, which is hot tech, future silver bullet, somebody said. Well, in my view, it's yes and no, because a toddler with a smartphone, interesting tricks he does, but would you risk your corporate company card with your toddler today? You wouldn't. So we have to figure out the unknowns to make this technology successful more and more. And we believe responsibility, AI, and taking responsibility is the key here. Adoption or the elimination of AI is actually in our hands today. Why do I say security cannot be an afterthought? And what will actually drive adoption of AI faster? Building trustworthy and reliable AI systems will. Trust is earned in drops and lost in buckets, according to Kevin Kelly. We all spend numerous hours, going into the whiteboarding, arguing between random forest versus a decision tree, creating models, spend numerous hours building AI system. Similarly, we spend too many hours or years building trust with our clients. But building reliable AI systems for our clients and giving them that experience is paramount importance today in this world. Now, if you look at it, the risk, if you look at it, right? it is contextual today, as you can see in the table. Today, a coding assistant versus marketing content generator, and versus and a chatbot. Very different risk. It could be malicious use, fairness bias, it could be IP infringement, all that. Risks differ from context because it depends upon the problem you are trying to solve and the data you are trying to use for that particular problem. Now, with that, let's look at the mitigation. Now, mitigation must be foundational in our view. And why do I say must be foundational? I'm sure you would have heard about hallucination so many times, even in this room today, right? I mean, our earlier days, we would say suboptimal prediction results in our old ML models. Today's word is called hallucination. LLMs can make up rosy answer for you and make you believe the answer is right. And you need to control that. Secondly, bias blues. We all know the model which is trained today is based on the data, and data can have inherent biases. It can lead to the outputs that reinforce today the existing prejudices which is there, right? And the third, no-brainer, garbage in, garbage out. Your data has to be clean, organized today to have the right output and the expected output of AI systems today. Now, if you look at it, we all know responsible AI is the future, right? And it's a need of the hour. But collectively, how many of us are doing something about it? We are reading about it. We are watching the news. We are looking at EU Act. We know NIST is going to come. We know other countries are going to develop. Are we doing justice to those acts and implementing it, or are we just talking about it, right? Now, going forward, let's look at some of the challenges we see in implementing responsible AI. But can those challenges be overcome? Absolutely, yes. There is no universal ethical code, right? When you say, similarly, there is no universal AI responsible governance mechanism today, because it's all one-shot solution is clearly hypothetical today. Do we have a North Star to aim for? No. But keep in mind, the governments and regulators are coming forward to help us to bring regulations in the right way. And I think we as practitioners need to take advantage of that to build the reliable AI systems. Now, the challenge number 2 is building systems which is completely social, political, cultural challenges, right? Now, if you look at it, what is considered fair in one culture may be offensive in another culture, right? Take an example of a loan approval system trained on a data which is a strict gender pay gap today. And if you're trying to use that model where with equal pay practices, it is going to disadvantage a gender today, right? Similarly, AI, as tool which you can use to screen the resumes, and if you have trained the data to do a certain education background, you're going to put disadvantage for underprivileged communities today. Now, how do we, that's a second challenge. Now, if you go to third one, most strategies is trying to appeal we try and look at copy others, and we want to make sure that wide group of people have, is actually, built for wide group of population. But formulating AI strategy, for responsible AI strategy is complex and is a big challenge. But we must consciously take the lead and not shy away from creating that for the future. Now, if you want to balance the ethical tightrope today, right? There are 4 things we think which is needed. One, collaborative governance. What do I mean by that? We all need to come together to agree on the principles and policies of specific to different regions and share the governance consortium today. 2, a dynamic framework. What gets measured gets done. Do we have a universally accepted metrics today for an AI system today? How do we build that? And do we need to partner with our private institutions, academia, government to create that? Third, more importantly, awareness and competency build. If you look around today in your enterprises, there are only two personas today in our enterprises. It's either you are an AI developer or you are an AI consumer. So we all need to collectively take responsibility to make sure that AI consumers and developers are aware of what responsible AI, how to build a responsible AI system today, right? And how do you do that training so that when you're consuming the output of AI, you are well aware of the fact that, okay, this is generated by AI, I need to apply my judgment. It's a continuous education. We need to educate our investors. We need to educate our public awareness, right? Number 2. 3, if you look at how do you balance the speed and safety? Today we are all in rush to build AI system and show success, right? We want to shiny toys, and deploy and show success to our stakeholders, all that. But in pursuit of that short-term benefits, AI as an afterthought can be absolutely dangerous today. Without appropriate attention to responsible AI, a hasty deployment will actually lead to the long-term value at risk with your clients. So how do you bring all these together today from a practitioner standpoint? It's time we cross the fence. We all need to collectively cross the fence and we need to navigate this collectively. Governance across the globe and regulating the build, we all need to be part of it and we need to contribute to that as a practitioner. Now, you look at the recent EU Act which came, right? If you look at the recent EU Act which came, it actually puts AI risk into 4 categories: unacceptable, high, limited, and minimal risk. I think Krishna spoke about this, right? A spam filter is a minimum, at a minimum risk today. A chatbot is a limited risk today. But a system that influences a consumer to vote for a political party is an unacceptable risk today in the EU Act, which is going to be effective so soon. So there is a clear requirement to be transparent. If the consumer need to know where the data has come from, how the data has been used, and who is using the data today. And the requirement for transparency with the clear, understandable requirements is the key to make our AI system successful today. Now, after hearing all this, you could be thinking that, is as a responsible AI going to limit our innovation? I don't think so. Because when the regulations come, we think our freedom is gone. What do I do? Actually not. If you look at it from a positive angle, there are 3 things here, right? It addresses all your non-regulatory bias risks, business risks, including cyber attacks, unwanted biases. Look at legal and regulatory biases risk today, right? It actually safeguards your businesses and their investors from fines and reputational risks which can happen. Lastly, it can actually improve your top and bottom line growth. Because think about developing a responsible AI system for your respective customer to earn the customer trust, which will actually put customer retention, right? Now, you could actually command a higher price, higher premium for a system which has adhering to all responsible AI guidelines in the marketplace as compared to a shiny toy today. Now, why I was saying this about, don't overly worry about the laundry list of what you're seeing in the press, right? There is a huge gap between what you see in the media reports and theoretical concepts. Think of your algorithm developer. Think of your AI system architect. he or she needs to know, how do I translate these policies into my system today, right? We all need to know from his angle, how is he or she going to put that into place? Hence, your responsible AI strategy has to be with the execution hat. It can be theory, but the execution hat. How do you define each step of whether it is concept drift, whether it is data mitigation plan, whether it is fairness, whether it is legal compliance, whether it is autonomy, whether it is privacy, whether it is security of the model. We all need to define that for our teams today. Because our teams may not understand the language of the EU Act as is, and we need to create that translated document. AI rhetoric is completely dreamy. Great disservice to this great technology of our time, isn't it? But we should change that rhetoric today. And how do we change that rhetoric today? If you look at it, we have to bring in relatable results, actionable insights, collective effort, and commitment from all of us to make AI survive in the right spirit. Now, this is if you look at one question which gets asked every day, right? This is my favorite line when I look at somebody comes and asks me, can you do this with using AI? I keep telling them AI is not Aladdin's illuminator, right? We all know what AI can do. We all know what AI can't do. Instead, as practitioners in the corporate world, should we decide what AI should do and what AI should not do? That's something which I will leave and think. We can all think about it. There are a lot of unknowns when we get into building an AI system today. And our journey of building an AI system is converting that unknowns to known unknowns and eventually known knowns, so that we can build that system effectively, transparently. AI, as you know, AI is a lever, right? It's a force multiplier. It can amplify your potential, but it can amplify your pitfalls too. As you scale AI in our respective organizations or for our clients, for greater reach and impact, we all need to thinking about AI ethics at an institutional level with the defined guardrails today. Now, after saying all this, how do we now look at building a responsible AI firewall, right? What do we need? I know a lot of in the panel and everything we all heard, data. Is data really ready for AI? When I say data ready for AI, what I meant is your data quality, your data fairness, your data access right, your data usage. Are you putting your data in your data marketplace with the right access rights, so that who should use the data? Number one. Do you have standardized AI system architecture today in your enterprise? Let's be proactive than reactive by creating that standardized AI system architecture. We all need to collaborate with the lawmakers and the government, because as practitioners, we think we know we have a lot to offer them from an execution lens. So it has to be a collective effort. It cannot be, those guidelines cannot be made in silos without a practitioner view too. Promote a culture of responsibility, right? When I say culture of responsibility, prioritizing ethical considerations in AI development and deployment. And then lastly, which I think we all need to do, is how do we give psychological safety for our teams to speak up, to bring their ideas, to share their thoughts and learn from their mistakes, right? And empower them to think more and more, because it will evolve and keep evolving. And once you do that, I think we all collectively would have built a good, responsible AI system for the future. Now, we at Genp believes AI at scale needs a robust, responsible AI strategy and arsenal of tools that can govern the engine. We all must come together in creating a focused RAI group. Why am I saying that? Because when we do as a focused RAI group and build on ethics and the frameworks, we all will realize we have a lot in common. Right? We all will have a lot in common and to learn. And we all want to build strong, trusted brands today. And we all want to do the right thing, because the future of ethical AI is something we all need to own up today and build together for our enterprises. With that, I want to say one thing here, which is fire, electricity, internet, and AI. They all have something in common, which shall run the world or ruin the world. And it's up to us to make that, make the best use of it. I have a short video to show you how at Genp we are using responsible AI for our clients. Can we have the video, please?
Technological disruptions occur every once in a while. The good ones take a decade, and the great ones take a lifetime. When they do, they change the landscape, creating chaos, but also fertile lands of opportunity. With AI, one must be a cautious optimist. Large language models are challenging the status quo. Team Utopia and Team Dystopia have painted a picture so bleak that the landscape of AI has become a haven for fear and overregulation. Responsible AI is the vehicle to steer us through this uncertainty. At Genp, we build AI solutions for customers by giving the utmost importance to safety. Our responsible AI strategy is built on 8 pillars. We align business metrics with AI performance for confident implementation by checking for use case viability. Our ML models are designed for reliability and safety. Privacy and security are key with our privacy by default frameworks. We tackle use cases across industries and functions. Our solutions adapt to global compliance demands. Our developers leverage comprehensive libraries, toolkits, and scripts to implement responsible AI at each stage of the AI development lifecycle. Diligent strategies, frameworks, and tools help us navigate the complex tapestry of global regulations and ensure AI speaks the universal language of responsibility.
Thank you for listening, and let's all build a collective responsible AI systems for our clients and our enterprises.